Today I want to show you how to make your own paper cutting guide, so come on in. Hello everybody, welcome to Senior Susie Stamps. This is Julia Laird and today's Thursday, so it's Studio Tip Day. With these three little things I can make a great tool for my studio, and I want to show you how to do that today. It's a guide for cutting, so let's get started. I have to give credit to Jerry Vandervelden. This is where I found the basic concept. She used a post-it note, and in my studio I kind of like to have things that are a little more permanent than post-it notes that are reusable. So this is a piece of heavyweight cardstock, and I'm going to cut that at 2.5 inches on this side. And I'm using it shoved right up against the guide here. So that's my first cut. Then I'm going to flip it over using the same bottom end, and I'm going to cut it at exactly 2 inches. That way I can be relatively assured that this piece is good and square on this end down here. And I'm going to mark it at 2 inches so that I can remember that that's exactly what that is. Now the next step I'm going to do is to put a piece of washi tape on it, and this is just so that I can reuse it over and over again. And rather than tear it, I'm going to put a nice clean cut edge on it, and I'm going to turn the top edge down just a little bit to act as my pull tab when I'm pulling it off. And all I'm going to do then is to put my little guide together, and it becomes then a reusable guide to use. Well, you're going to say, Julia, what do you need that for? Okay, well, I'm going to show you, because it comes in very handy when you're cutting small pieces off of a larger piece of cardstock. Now, if I wanted a 1-inch strip off of this, I'd have to come in this way, and you know, that's hard to get it lined up and straight. So it's much better if you can use your guide and use your paper on your trimmer. So let me show you how. Well, first of all, I make a good square cut on my paper originally, and then I close my cutting arm down, and I push my paper up against that cutting arm so it's at the 0 point of this cutter. Then I'm going to take my guide and I'm going to put it wherever I want to out here, and let's put it on the 4-inch mark. And then this becomes your new paper end for your guide marking. And if we want to cut 1/2-inch strips or 1-inch strip or a 3-inch piece off of this longer piece of paper, we can do that with no problem. Let's do it. Let's do a 1/2 inch. There's a 1/2 inch. Now let's do 2. So that was 3.5. I'm going to go down to 1.5. And see, I'm still not in the gauge line here for a good cut. But what I ended up with is exactly a 2-inch piece and exactly a 1/2 inch piece. And I still have a large piece of paper left over that I can come back and cut again. This is especially helpful if you're working off of a decorative trimmer like the Decal. And again, you make your first cut, and I've already cut this once, but you make your first cut on your trimmer, and then you leave it there, and you've already cut it just to get the first Decal edge on, and you've got it snuggled up next to your guide. That's important. Remember that now. And then you can put your little, because this extends past the 6-inch, you can put your little new guide on this side over here wherever you want to that makes sense to you. And I'm going to put mine on 4-inch because I want some 1-inch pieces of this blue that have Decal on both sides. And so here we go. There's one piece. There's the second piece. And here's the third piece. And I've still maintained the integrity of my original piece of paper. And if this had started out as a 6 by 12 piece of paper, it would be much longer and I could use it for all manner of different things. But in the meantime, I have 3 very accurately cut pieces of decal trim. So I hope this helped you today and that you'll make your own little 2-inch guide out of a heavyweight piece of cardstock. And be sure and square up that bottom now. That's a key to making your cut straight. So I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week, y'all. Bye-bye.